Let's speak English. Hello, guys, and welcome back for another very important and interesting English class. Well, in today's class, I'm going to talk about question words in English. You guys going to learn about question words in English. Well, before I start, I want to tell you that in English, there are two types of questions that a person can ask. There are two types of questions that a person can ask. There are two types of questions that a person can ask in English. The first type of questions that a person can ask in English is information questions. The first type of questions that a person can ask in English is information questions. Information questions require informations. Information questions require information. Okay, guys. Information questions require informations. Agora, pessoal, o que significa information questions em português? O que significa information questions em português? Em português, information questions significa perguntas de informação. Information questions significa perguntas de informação. Okay, guys. Now, the second type of questions that a person can ask in English is yes or no questions. Yes or no questions. Yes or no questions is the second type of questions that a person can ask in English. Agora, pessoal, yes or no questions significa o quê? Yes or no question significa perguntas sim ou perguntas não. Yes or no question significa perguntas sim ou perguntas não. Agora, guys, when we talk about information questions, we see question words. When we talk about information questions, we see question words. Okay, guys. When we talk about information questions, what do we see, guys? We see question words. Okay, guys. We see question words. When we talk about information questions, we see question words. Information questions. Information questions é uma pergunta que exige o quê? Que exige uma palavra de pergunta. Question words. Now, guys, let's see the question words in English. Let's see the question words in English. Okay, guys. Let's see the question words in English. Okay, the first question word that we have in English is where. Where is the first question word that we have in English. Now, guys, where asking about the place. We're asking about the place. We're asking about the place. Where asking about the place. Agora, pessoal, where, a palavra where significa o quê? Where significa onde. Where significa onde. Where significa onde. A palavra where em inglês significa onde. Where significa onde. Where, asking about the place. Where, pergunta o lugar. Where, pergunta o lugar. Okay, guys? Where, pergunta o lugar. Pergunta o lugar. Pergunta o lugar. Where, pergunta o lugar. Now, guys, let's take some example with the question word where. Let's take some examples with the question word where. The first example we have is, let's say, for example, where do you live? Where do you live? Where do you live? Where do you live? Okay, where do you live? This one is the first example we have with the question word where. Where do you live? Agora, pessoal, where do you live significa onde você mora. Onde você mora? Where do you live? Onde você mora? Where do you live? Onde você mora? Where do you live? Okay, let's say I live in Brazil. I live in Brazil. I live in Brazil. I live in Brazil. I'm sorry, I live in Brazil. I live in Brazil. I live in Brazil significa eu moro no Brasil. I live in Brazil. Eu moro no Brasil. Okay, guys. Let's take another example with the question word where. The second example we can take is, for example, where is my car? 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 Where is my car significa onde fica meu carro. Where is my car? Onde fica meu carro? Where is my car? Onde fica meu carro? Where is my car? The question word where significa onde. Where is my car? Onde fica meu carro? Okay, guys, let's continue. The second question word that we have in English is the question word when. The question word when. Okay, when is the second question word we have in English. The second question word we have in English is when. Okay, guys, when is the second question word that we have in English. Now, when asking about the date, when asking about the date, when I say date, I mean day, I mean month, I mean year. Okay. When asking about the date, when I say date, I mean year, I mean day, I mean month. Okay, guys. Now, let's take an example with the question word when. Okay, the example that we can take is, let's say, for example, when will you come? When will you come? When will you come? When will you come? When will you come significa quando você virá. When will you come? Okay, guys, the question word when significa quando. The question word when significa quando. Okay, guys, the question word when significa quando. Como vocês podem ver, the question word when significa quando. Ok? Vamos pegar outro exemplo. For example, when is the party? When is the party? When is the party? When is the party? When is the party significa quando é a festa. When is the party? Quando é a festa. When is the party? When is the party? Quando é a festa. Okay? When is the party? Quando é a festa. Okay? The party is, let's say the party is on January 8th. Is on January 8th. The party is on January 8th. When is the party? Quando é a festa? The party is on January 8th. Agora, o que significa esta frase, pessoal? A festa é em 8 de janeiro. Ok. A festa é em 8. A festa é em 8 de janeiro. The party is on January 8th. A festa é em 8 de janeiro. Okay, guys. Guys, the question word when significa quando. Okay, guys. Now, let's continue. The third question word that we have in English is the question word what time. What time? What time is the third question word we have in English. What time? Okay. What time? Asking about the time. Asking about the time. Okay. When I say time, guys, I mean hour. I mean hour. Okay. The question word what time? Asking about the time. Okay. When I say asking about the time, I mean hour. What time? Now, guys, what time significa o que em português? What time significa que horas? Que horas? What time significa que horas? Okay. What time? Asking about the time. What time? Pergunta a hora. What time? Pergunta a hora. What time? Pergunta a hora. Ok? Quando você fala what time, em inglês, você quer saber a hora. Okay, guys. Now, let's take an example. For example, For example, what time are you coming? Okay, let's take this example. What time are you coming? For example, what time are you coming? Okay, what time are you coming significa o que, pessoal? What time are you coming significa que horas você vai vir? Que horas você vai vir? What time are you coming? Que horas você vai vir? Que horas você vai vir? What time are you coming? Que horas você vai vir? What time are you coming? Que horas você vai vir? Or let's take a second example. For example, what time is your class at singularidades? What time is your class at singularidades? Singularidades, pessoal, é uma universidade. What time is your class at singularidades? What time? What time is your class at singularidades? What time is your class at singularidades? What time is your class at singularidades significa, pessoal, a que horas é a sua aula na singularidades. Ok, a que horas é a sua aula na singularidades? What time is your class at singularidades? What time is your class at singularidades? Ok, guys. What time significa que horas? What time significa a que horas? What time significa que horas? What time significa a que horas? Okay, guys. What time significa que horas? What time significa a que horas? Okay, guys. Let's continue. The fourth question word that we have in English is the question word why. The question word why. Okay. Why is the fourth question word that we have in English. Why? Okay, guys. The question word why asking for the reason. The question word why asking for the reason. The question word why asking for the reason. Now, o que significa why? Why em português significa por quê. Why em português significa por quê. Why? Why em português significa por quê. Why asking for the reason. Why pergunta a razão. Pergunta a razão. Why pergunta a razão. Now, let's take an example with the question word why. Okay? For example, why are you learning English? Okay, let's take this example. Why are you learning English? Why are you learning English? Why are you learning English? Okay, why are you learning English? Why are you learning English? Okay, why are you learning English? Let's say because, let's say because it gives more job opportunities. It gives more job opportunities. Why are you learning English? Why are you learning English? Why are you learning English significa porque você está aprendendo inglês. Porque você está aprendendo inglês. Why are you learning English? Why are you learning English? Porque você está aprendendo inglês. Porque você está aprendendo inglês. Why are you learning English? Porque você está aprendendo inglês. Ok? Why are you learning English? Porque você está aprendendo inglês. Ok, guys. The question word why significa por quê. Ok? Why are you learning English? Porque você está aprendendo inglês. Because it gives more job opportunity. Porque dá mais oportunidades de trabalho. Porque dá mais oportunidades de trabalho. Okay, guys, let's continue. The fifth question word that we have in English is the question word who. The question word who. Who is the fifth question word that we have in English? Who. Who. Prestar muita atenção, pessoal. Who. Who is the fifth question word that we have in English? Who, asking for the name of a person. Who, asking for the name of a person. The question word who, asking for the name of a person. Who, the question word who, asking for the name of a person. Agora, pessoal, who significa o quê? Who significa quem? A palavra who significa quem. The question word who significa quem em português. Who significa quem. All right. Okay, guys. Now, who pergunta o nome. Who pergunta o nome. Pergunta o nome. Okay. The question word who, asking for the name of a person. The question word who, asking for the name of a person. Who significa quem. Who pergunta o nome de uma pessoa. Ok? Quem pergunta o nome de uma pessoa. Who pergunta o nome de uma pessoa. Quando você falar who, quando você usar who numa pergunta, você quer saber o nome de uma pessoa, o nome de alguém. Now, let's take an example with the question word who. Okay? For example, who are you? Who are you? This is the first example with the question word who. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you significa quem é você. Who are you? Quem é você? Who are you? Quem é você? Who are you? Ok, who are you? Quem é você? Who asking for the name of a person. Who significa quem. Who pergunta o nome de uma pessoa. Ok? O nosso exemplo é who are you? Who are you significa quem é você. Ok, let's take a second example. For example, who is that girl? Who is that girl? Who is that girl? Who is that girl? Who is that girl significa quem é aquela garota? Quem é aquela garota? Who is that girl? Quem é aquela garota? Quem é? Who is that girl? Quem é aquela garota? Ok. Who is that girl? Who is that girl? Okay, guys. The question word who significa quem. Asking for the name of a person. Who significa quem pergunta o nome de uma pessoa. Ok, guys. Who significa quem. Who significa quem, pessoal. Asking for the name of a person. Asking for the name of a person. Pergunta o nome de uma pessoa. Okay, guys. Now, let's continue. The sixth question word that we have in English is the question word whose. The question word whose. Whose. Okay, guys. The question word whose is the sixth question word we have in English. Who's asking for the name of the owner of something. Okay. Who's asking for the name of the owner of something? The question word who's asking for the name of the owner of something. Agora, pessoal, o que significa whose? Whose significa de quem. Whose significa de quem. Whose significa de quem. A palavra whose significa de quem em português. Whose significa de quem em português. Em português, whose significa de quem. Who's asking for the name of the owner of something. Whose pergunta sobre o nome do dono de algo. Whose pergunta o nome do dono de algo. Ok. Whose pergunta o nome do dono de algo. Quando você usa whose numa pergunta pessoal, você quer saber o nome do dono de algo. Okay, guys. Now, let's take an example. For example, whose book is it? Whose book is this? Whose book is this? Whose book is this? Okay. Whose book is this? Whose book is this? Whose book is this? Significa o quê, pessoal? Whose book is this? Significa de quem é esse livro? De quem é esse livro? Whose book is this? De quem é esse livro? Whose book is this? De quem é? Whose book is this? Ok, pessoal. Quando você usa whose numa pergunta, quando você usa whose para fazer uma pergunta, você quer saber o nome do dono de algo. Whose book is this? De quem é esse livro? Ok? Vamos dizer, whose book is this? De quem é esse livro? Ok. De quem é esse livro? Ok? This is Peter's. This is Peter's. This is Peter's. All right, this is Peter's. This is Peter's. Significa é o livro do Pedro. This is Peter's. Okay, guys? This is Peter's. This is Peter's. Whose book is this? Okay, this is Peter's. Whose book is this? This is Peter's. This is Peter's significa esse livro é do Pedro. Ok? Whose book is this? Whose book is this? De quem é esse livro? This is Peter's. This is Peter's significa esse livro é do Pedro. Okay, guys. So, it is all for today. Thank you guys for joining this class. So, I recommend that you guys study and memorize and practice these question words in your everyday English. Okay, guys. See you then for the continuation of question words in English.